Imagine this, right now, you're looking at currency pairs selected not by chance, but through carefully calculated logic. But what if every price movement hides a pattern that only a few can truly see? Today, we're going to try and uncover it. The real question is, which tools will point us to the right moment to enter? Which signals will turn out to be false? And which ones might lead us straight to profit? I'm not ready to reveal everything just yet. Let's just say we won't rely on trend alone. What happens in the shadows of the chart also matters. Local spikes, hidden highs, and those strange zones where the market behaves unexpectedly. Today, 2 sessions, 2 chances to look a little deeper than usual. So, where do we begin? Let's start with today's trading. I've already analyzed all currency pairs with the most optimal movement characteristics, and you can see them on your screen. Today, we were working with the OTC market, which means excellent payout percentages, mostly above 90%. The indicators we'll be using today are the fractal, Keltner channel with default settings, and the CCI oscillator with a period of 10. Let's get started with the trading and see what the market holds for us today. We'll begin with a $500 0-cent trade and choose our first currency pair. Here I want to open a position for an increase. It might not be the ideal entry point and the price could go lower, but I don't think that's going to happen. Let's highlight the working area. Firstly, the prevailing dynamics here are upward, and on the OTC market, I always stick to opening trades in the direction of the trend. So we had a price retracement here, and theoretically a new local minimum is forming, which the fractal should indicate. The price movement also went outside the Keltner channel, and thus we see a potential reversal on the moving line of our oscillator, which is also showing signs of exiting the oversold zone. Let's see how it plays out. Just as expected, everything went as I predicted. Great trade. Let's change the amount of the deal to $700 0 cents and continue our trading. Nothing complicated here. Now, let's move on and choose the next currency pair. Here, and I also want to open a position to increase. We are opening against the trend, but the situation is a bit different. We have a strong downward trend, but recently the price had a significant upward impulse. The price stayed in place and a new local minimum was formed. The movement also exited the outer part of the channel indicator, and I'm seeing an exit from the oversold area on our oscillator. I'm opening the position on an increase. I wouldn't normally recommend this approach, as it's always safer to trade with the trend on OTC markets. But in this case, the trade closed positively. We caught the price reversal right on time. Everything unfolded as I expected. Now we are up by $1,000, 0 cents. Let's change the trade amount to 1,000 and pick the next currency pair. Here, I also want to open a position to increase. The entry point might not be perfect. It would have been better to open it right now, but I believe the price movement should go upwards. The logic behind the entry is absolutely correct. This trade is similar to the first one we opened. If you remember, we also had upward dynamics, a new local minimum formed, and the movement exited the outer part of the Keltner channel. In the first trade, we closed it in profit, but here the opening level wasn't ideal. Judging by the price movement, let's see the result. So we had a pullback here, and both of our similar trades close in profit, 2 out of 2. Excellent, I'm really happy with the result. Let's finish strong by opening the final trade, and let's set it to $500 0 cents. I don't want to risk the entire balance too much. We're already up $2,000. And if this trade ends up being a loss, I won't be too disappointed. Let's continue and pick the final currency pair. Here, I wanted to open a position to decrease, though unfortunately the entry level wasn't perfect. I was hoping to enter exactly at the formation of the local maximum, a few levels higher. However, the logic of entering this trade remains solid. We're following the trend as the market has a downward dynamic. Also, there's a bit of consistency after forming new local highs. Each time, when the price touched the upper moving line, the market moved down. This situation should be similar to previous ones. We also see an exit from the overbought zone according to our oscillator, so even though we didn't open exactly at the right level, we still followed the trend logic. It's okay though, I'm not upset. Overall, I'm very happy with today's results. We're in profit by $1,500, so I think it's a good time to lock in the profit and conclude today's trading. The withdrawal operation is being successfully processed. We have fixed a profit of $2,000. Great result for today's trading. And our operation is being successfully processed. This is how today's trading turned out using these indicators. In general, nothing complicated, although in the last trade we didn't have the best luck. But that's trading. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If we had waited a bit longer for the fractal to form and opened the trade later, we would have closed it with a profit without any issues. So, the entry logic was absolutely correct, but as in any trading, there are different situations and no one is immune to them. Overall, I consider today's trading session successful. Let's move on to the next trading session. So let's start our second trading session. I have already analyzed and selected the currency pairs with the most optimal movement and payout percentages, which you can see before your eyes. Let's start with a 1,000 trade opening the entire balance. I've conducted a thorough analysis, and for today's session I will be using indicators like Bollinger Bands with a period of 13 and a deviation of 2 as usual, the fractal with default settings and RSI oscillators, the first with a period of 5 and the second with a period of 10. These will help us understand different price ranges and give us insights into the market. The oversold and overbought levels will remain at the default 30 and 70. These settings are perfectly sufficient. Let's start with a $1,000 trade as mentioned, and we will be opening trades on a 1-minute time frame. Let's get started and select the first currency pair. Here, I will most likely open a position to go long in the direction of the trend. Let's highlight the working area. We had a strong pullback and we now have a relatively good entry point after this pullback and the touch of a new local minimum, which should be shown by the fractal. The price should move upwards from here. I'm also paying attention to the oscillators and noticing that we are seeing an exit from the oversold area on both of them. Therefore, I will still open the position to go long even though the local maximum has been updated by the fractal and the pullback might have already ended. Last seconds. The first trade closes in profit. As I mentioned, the price moved upwards on the next candle. Overall, I'm completely satisfied with the result. The trade was absolutely correct. Let's change the trade amount to $945.00 and open 2 new trades with the full balance, totaling $1,800. Let's continue and select the next currency pair. The 2 trades are opened for an increase, following the trend. The logic behind the entry remains exactly the same as in the previous trade. Let's lock in the result you've already seen. I think this will work out well. We also have an upward dynamic, and there was a good price retracement, forming a new local minimum. Along with a touch of the lower Bollinger Band line, I believe the price movement will definitely go upwards. Also, watching the oscillators, I expect the oscillator with a 5 miracle to exit the oversold area, and from the behavior of the second oscillator, I see the dynamics will likely turn upwards, which has already happened. Both trades close in profit without any issues. We started with $1,000 and now I see a great profit in front of me. I will fix this profit and proceed to withdrawal. The wallet is selected and today's profit is $24.96. The withdrawal operation is being successfully processed. This is how today's trading went using the given indicators. We opened 2 trades based on the same principle, and I believe you understand the strategy for opening an upward position with these indicators. Overall, I'm also pleased with the result. Good luck with your trading. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will do my best to help each of you. Have a great day and see you soon!